Good evening, and welcome to a special episode of Nerd or Not. Tonight, we honor the Cretan's most cherished time of the year. But lo, we are just a two-man team. We need all the Cretans, an unholy trinity. So, I shall call forth upon this decadent text and summon to the mortal plane a force of such evil, such vile villainy, such heinous corpus.
Habeas corpus?
Shut up! That it couldn't only be one being truly deserving of the title of Cretan. And with these words, Karloff, Lugosi, Ravenscroft, I call upon the spawn of Satan. Arise, Drunkubus!
Hey.
Behold, these are the eyes of true madness. Tell me, Drunkubus, what did you do last evening?
Oh, I went and saw the Blade Runner.
Oh, really? Cool. You know, I haven't seen it yet, and I've been avoiding spoilers. What'd you think?
It's too bad. Everyone dies at the end.
Evil! Evil! Evil, 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 evil! On this show, we will speak of spooks and scares and midnight mischief and all things of this, the season of ghouls and ghosts. And for this, we bid welcome to the sweatiest, sweetest of tots, our Mr. Goodbar, Jay.
You know, Eleven's really the monster.
God damn it!
The fuck was that shit? Sweaty? What is the... It's fucking 33 degrees here. I am not sweaty. I am cold.
I said sweetest of the tarts.
He said sweatiest.
I said it.
I know.
I can't read. You know me.
So has it been renamed the Pit of Ultimate Darkness?
For this episode, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that works.
Circumstances demanded. Yes.
I like that. That's good stuff. Hi, Corey.
Hey, what's going on?
That's a fancy fucking belt you got there.
I know, and I earned it the honest way, right?
How did you earn it? I don't even remember how you won it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was not a no DQ. I don't
Well,
think.
are we talking about winning or retaining?
Retaining?
Retaining,
Well,
that was honorable.
That's true. I actually earned it through,
the Triple H method.
Favoritism, yes.
There you go.
That's right. But yeah, it was the contest in Runbow. It ended up that I turned out the victor in that, and it was a sad story for one of us, but you ain't gotta like it. Just accept it.
All right,
yeah.
So when do you return to the Great White North?
That's going to be happening in about 2 days.
In 2 days, okay. If you are still in possession of said championship,
Yes, another challenge is coming.
Yep.
I will be challenging you on November 3rd.
Oh shit! That's whoa! That's in under 2 weeks. 2 challenges in 2 weeks.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a Friday.
It is a Friday.
A day like any other day.
A day like many other days. It'll be the third.
Right.
It'll either be the 3rd or the 4th, depending on when you're off work.
That's also true, and who the knows when that's going to be. So yes,
true.
I will hastily accept your challenge, perhaps unwisely, just so I can pull a what the hell's that guy's name? A Dolph Ziggler, and try to weasel my way out of it afterwards.
Yes,
maybe.
I like that you were going to call him Zolf Diggler.
I know. I was. Fucking dyslexia. Thank you for nothing. All right.
Which is an even better name, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
What, fuck you, dyslexia?
Well,
Zolf Diggler.
Zolf Diggler. Zolf Diggler's a good name.
That's
his mirror universe counterpart.
I was going to say, that's Dolph Ziggler's, like, Ruski heel counterpart. By the way, I love that he's a heel now. I never got to see Dolph as heel stuff before, and it's so much better than him just showing up in 80s clothes and then not talking.
Yes, I agree.
So good for
him.
But,
anyway, Corey's back. Bob's here. I'm here. Hello, cretins. Welcome back to episode 28 of the Nerd or Not podcast, where we give our opinions on a range of topics, everything and anything under the bright nerd red sun. I always get this wrong. We need to work on the wording of this because I fuck it up every time we do it. Everything and anything under the bright nerd sun, all while promoting fellowship, conversation, and humor every chance we can. We are the Cretins Guild. I am Jay, and I'm joined with Bob.
Hey.
And Corey.
Hey.
No, that was accurate. And guys, this is our second Nerd or Not anniversary, and you'd figure that we'd have more than 28 episodes, but hey, life gets in the way. It's like those commercials. Life comes at you fast. And for everything else, there's whatever. Allstate, Microsoft, Fancy Feast.
Colgate.
I think it's Fancy Feast.
Fancy Feast.
Run with that.
Oh, all right. You sure it wasn't KY or... No, that's when you're coming fast.
Exactly.
Did you map that out in your head, or just
no?
It just bled out.
I'm sorry. I'm just a pervert. That's how it happens.
Understood. Yeah, I get it.
So we want to thank everyone who has followed us on Twitter and Instagram and played our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, or here on YouTube. You guys are awesome. We hope you enjoy what we do. And we're on our way to our 10,000 subscribers or views. There's a 10,000 mark out there somewhere. Views. 10,000 views. Subscribers would be nuts. Let's get to. I
don't know if I can handle 10,000 right now.
Let's get to 100. But whether it's one of you or 1,000 of you that actually listen to this show, we thank you, we appreciate it, and we love you all. Today we are going to be spotlighting a game. And normally you guys, when I spotlight a game, it is a board game, but it is not a board game this go around. It is a new video game that I picked up from my PlayStation 4 video entertainment system. And it is WWE 2K18. From the good guys over at 2K Sports. Right off the bat, the shine has worn off a little bit since I first got it. It is still very fun. There's a lot of improvements that they made over the last year. But at the end of the day, it is still a Ukes product, so you know exactly what you're getting into.
It's Ukes working on this one?
It's the same engine that's been in there for the past 15 years, just with some changes.
Yep, okay.
Changes for the good?
Oh, definitely changes for the good. There's a lot of good that's happening there. There are some absolutely colossally stellar, awful bugs that I've run into. Like, I can't have a custom superstar try to do a promo in the first act of Universe Mode, or the game will crash. Every single time.
Are you shitting me?
Nope, every single time.
There's Game Stoppers in...
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not really a Game Stopper because you can have him do a promo in another segment and everything's fine. It's just that opening segment on Monday Night Raw, you're fucked. Okay. So... It's definitely got some show-stopping bugs in there, but there has not been a day one update yet. So it's been out for a couple of weeks. I'm expecting an update here soon. Hopefully they'll address some of those bugs. Big improvements this year. The Creation Suite is goddamn incredible. It's a lot of fun to play with. It's a lot of fun to use. Bob, you've seen the Enzo I did from his TLC attire.
Yeah, you did that the same night, right? With the blue shorts and the.
I did that the next day. I did that on Monday. And yeah, so it's got a full spectrum in there. You can upload images on the web and then download them into your game, so you can use those on clothes. I actually did heel Sami Zayn today, which was a lot of fun.
Dude, I love the graphics that they use in this video now.
It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I mean, there's definitely some neat stuff in there. The career mode's a lot better than it was last year. There's some new modes in there like Road to Glory where you actually get to do some stuff online against other people to earn stuff. There's definitely some shit I don't like. Like, I really kind of wish I just had all of the Creation Suite stuff open to me for spending the amount of money I did on the collector's edition of the game, but I got to go through the loot boxes like you do in Overwatch, which sucks.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, 90% of it is there. Well, I'm not going to say 90% of it, but a lot of it is there. So you can still make a very good CAW and have a great moveset and all that, but there's some choice stuff in there where it's like, man, I'd really like to have that. Damn it. Oh, well.
So is the collector's edition limited? What is it?
I got the Cena Enough edition because it had some stuff in there that were given Victor for Christmas.
Okay. But overall, was it worth it? Instead of just getting the regular shelf version?
I think getting some of the DLC unlocked automatically, it's worth it. You get the accelerator, which lets you actually edit the stats of all the characters in the game instead of just the created wrestlers. It gets you Rob Van Dam, Batista, a couple of John Cena's. It gets you Kurt Angle.
A couple of John Cena's.
Yeah. So it gets you the John Cena from the ECW One Night Stand where he lost to Rob Van Dam, and it gets you 2010 John Cena where he was feuding with Batista. There's some good stuff in there, and it's fun to be able to grab the WWE superstars and make your own versions of them and up their stats a little bit. Like the first thing I did is went in and upped all the cruiserweight stats to actually make them competitive with everybody.
That's skunky. They actually, you can't use a cruiserweight
effectively
player within the game against anybody that's above.
No, you can. You can. I mean, you can still do it. It's just it's a number thing. It's not like Madden where, Tom Brady being a 99 is significantly better than, Dick Butkus at a 62, and he's dead. So it's there's not this huge gap. So that
is a perceivable disadvantage, though. I mean,
yeah, well, sure,
being among the unliving and 6 feet underground,
unless you're a zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Zombie
again,
Dick Butkus.
Then again, we're talking about Dick Butkus, though, who, if you ask the right people, death wouldn't really be a factor.
No.
Yeah.
Just slow him down.
But I mean, there's definitely a stat gap, but a lot of those, the stat chasms between the different weight classes and the different wrestlers is more because of abilities and not because of attributes.
Oh, okay.
So like your striking can be high, and you can have the same striking as someone like a Nakamura, but Nakamura is going to have stuff where he's got better taunts, so he gets more boosts there. So that's giving him a couple extra points on his rating and stuff like that. So doing that is like I went in and I'd grab some stuff. Like for TJP, I added some stuff where he's a little bit more of a showboat, so he's getting more stuff for taunting and being a douchebag and stuff like that. So
right,
it's a good game. You can wait. There's definitely some stuff that needs to be fixed, and you can wait for all the DLC to come out to make sure you want to get what you want to get, or you can wait till next year. I don't think you're going to be sad if you do, but I will say that it being on the Switch, I kind of wish I had gotten it on that because I think it would be really fun to have portable.
Oh, definitely.
But it's I mean even still on a home console, playing on the PS4, it's still really fun.
Yeah,
a lot of good stuff going on
there's
there.
nothing more meditative than like doing caw while taking a dump.
Oh, absolutely.
Because then you can strategize.
Yep.
Yep.
But it's cool, man. It's a lot of fun. There's some really neat stuff in there. There's some really great moves. And there's so many characters. So fucking many characters. There's like 160 characters on the roster, something like that. Like everybody is there almost,
so
except like 4 cruiserweights.
So like a lot of classic wrestlers or performers are going to be.
I would assume everybody they have the rights to, aside from CM Punk.
You got
absolutely no CM Punk. Although, hey, he's been a caw, and he's already up on the creation suite. So I downloaded him like day 2.
Did they still keep the Living Color theme?
No.
No. I
No,
think you'd have to do that yourself.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Can you actually import music though?
Not on PS4. You can't.
Oh.
But you can on another system.
I know you
maybe
can
on Xbox.
I'm pretty sure you can on PC. Like on PC, I'm pretty sure you can mod the shit out of it.
Oh shit! No, it was for the PC.
Oh yeah, and it released day 1 on PC, which is new for them. It's usually like 6 months later.
Hopefully, with no typical PC also game breaking bugs. But patches are a little bit easier to issue on PC as well. So.
But there's some great stuff in there, man. Like Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano were in there, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
I immediately downloaded Candice LeRae so Johnny can have his wife in the game, because it matters to Virtual Johnny that his virtual wife is in the game.
This is for the part of the game that takes place in the Barbie dream house for you, and not like directly in the ring.
Yes.
There can be play in there.
So my favorite little thing that's happened in the game so far is you get before in my career you wander around backstage before your match. And you get to go look at, you go to the producer who's at Gorilla and you talk to him about what match you're going to have that night and everything like that. But as you're wandering around, you get to talk to various superstars and stuff like that. So the first 2.5-3 months I was in NXT, Johnny Corduroy is wandering around backstage and there's a catering area. And every time you go to I went to catering, Johnny Gargano would be in catering. And he'd be holding a plate and he'd be staring at where the catering is and all of the catering trays are empty. So it's just like poor disappointed Johnny Gargano waiting for food that isn't going to appear. And I was like, oh.
He's standing there like Oliver.
Yeah, just like he's not even, please sir, can I have some more? He's just, can I have something? Like,
Well, now we know how the DIY fuse started. Gargano would wipe the table clean before, or Ciampa would wipe the table clean before Gargano got there. And he had to keep all of that inside for the longest time, and then suddenly he's sitting on that box staring down at him like, yeah, give me another empty plate, bitch.
Can I have some food?
I'm just like, every time I go back there, I'm like, oh, I feel bad for Johnny. Someone please give him an oatmeal cream pie or something. Like, it's just...
Do we have a box of moon pies somewhere? Just give him one.
Don't we have a wheel of death in the break room? Somebody go get him a Lunchable, for God's sakes.
But yeah, it was it's funny. Like, there's some stuff that's just like some absolutely ridiculously out of character stuff. Like, Hideo Itami is always really happy to see me. He's like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? You're great at your job. I really love watching you work." And then I'll run into Cassius Ohno, and he's like, "I'm not talking to you." And I'm like, "What is going on?" All the heels are really nice. Like, the Authors of Pain are genuinely proud of me for the work I'm doing, and all the faces are douchebags. Like, it's so fucking weird. Like,
does this game track your in-game actions and matches and how many heel moves you pull off per bout?
Okay, so the Authors of Pain, like my first day in the Performance Center, I haven't gotten in the ring. I haven't talked to anybody. You're in the Performance Center. You can walk around and talk to people. And there's the Authors of Pain in workout clothes and like shorts and T-shirts. Oh, favorite thing I've seen on the Creation Suite so far is someone took Razor from the Authors of Pain and put him in the Razor Ramon outfit and uploaded him, and he's Razor Ramon, and it's fantastic. Anyway, back to my story. So I'm just wandering around. There's the Authors of Pain in their tap-out gear, and I walk up to them. They're like, "Hey, man, we're really excited to have you here. We think your future's really bright. This is going to be great for you." I'm like, "Oh, wow, thanks, guys. This is really odd, but I appreciate that." And I'm wandering, and I run into Cassius Ohno. I was like, "Well, the heels were nice to me. Cassius is going to be great, too." He's like, "I don't have time for your stuff, kid. Go away." I'm like, what is happening? Why are you a dick?
You came empty-handed. You didn't have a bagel in your hand or something.
Here's a peace offering, moon pie.
But those are my adventures in WWE 2K18 thus far. I spend a lot of time in the Creation Suite because Creator Wrestler is the best.
Yep.
And yeah, it's awesome. There's nothing like the gratifying feeling of seeing the download numbers on your CAW go up. Because
nice.
people like what you've done. Yeah, like 40 people have downloaded my Enzo, and I'm like, that's awesome. That makes me happy. So moving on, guys, we're going to do a bit of a podcast shout out here. We've Bob, you've actually kind of joined up with a group of people.
Yes, we're in like a conglomerate.
Collective?
Collective. That's easier to say.
We are the podcast Illuminati. And this is actually especially fitting for these guys. This is for the Secret Transmission podcast. You can follow them on iTunes and Twitter. They are at Secret Trans Pod. Yeah, stuff looks pretty cool. They are a podcast about conspiracies, the paranormal, cryptozoology, UFO sightings, the unexplained, true crime, and more. So, Bob, roll that beautiful bean footage.
This is the Secret Transmission podcast. We are a podcast about the strange and unusual, the secret and the conspiracies, the fringe and the supernatural. We're a podcast that talks about weird things like number stations, the Bermuda Triangle, the Salem witch trials, time travel, the moon landing, the Zika virus, serial killers, cults, the deep web, UFOs, superstitions. We cover it all. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, and Google Play. You can also follow us on Twitter, at Secret Transpod, at SecretTranspod. Come listen to us try to explain the unexplainable.
All right, guys, welcome back. Be sure to follow and listen to the Secret Transmission podcast. Again, it is at Secret Transpods on Twitter. Yeah, sounds pretty cool. All kinds of shit that's right up our alley. I'm going to have to be subscribing to them and giving them a listen. But yeah, do follow them on iTunes and Twitter, and tell them the Cretans Guild sent you, because they have no idea what they've gotten themselves into getting in bed with us. So now we're going to transition over to the news. A couple of movies coming up. First up is Thor 3, a.k.a. Thor Ragnarok, a.k.a. No, it's 3. Thor the Dark World was number 2.
You're right.
And,
absolutely right.
Thor 3, a.k.a. Taika Waititi goes crazy with the Cheese Whiz. Reviews are starting to come in, and people are saying it is one of the best Marvel films yet. And I'd like to say I'm surprised, but let's be honest, we saw the trailers.
Right.
Yeah, what was it, back in February? The world just went nuts over this trailer.
February or March. I think it might have been the Super Bowl. I don't remember if it was a Super Bowl trailer or not, but
since it hit, every 2 weeks it's been like, dude, you got to hit me with it again. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah! Fix, man!
It's just one of the most unique looking films I've ever seen. I'm glad that they gave it to someone who's not a traditional action movie director. Mm-hmm. I think Taika Waititi's a genius. I called him a mad scientist last week. And it's true. He is. The guy's nuts.
Yeah.
He's nuts. And the movie looks great. Reviews are coming in, and it sounds good.
That's nuts in a way that would not precipitate you keeping him from meeting your family or anything. It's like a very productive sort of nuts.
Oh, no, I would keep him in my basement and just,
Taika, that was him. That's Jay.
What? No. Bob said that. Bob said that.
Dude,
Bob said that.
It was Bob.
Bob, we knew that was bullshit. I live in Florida. We don't have basements.
That's
God
true.
damn it.
We have attics. Lots of attic.
That's okay. 2/3 of the Cretans Guild team does not advocate kidnapping Taika Waititi.
You guess which is the other third.
Let's be fair. You'd kidnap him too, Corey.
Maybe, just to know what product to use.
You have those drawers behind the couch. You could keep him in there.
Do you think he'd fit?
You have the giant closet. He could absolutely fit in the giant closet.
That's true. And if all else fails, there's the dark room underneath the first floor apartments.
You're planning this a little too much.
For some reason, I have access to.
Our second bit of movie news is about Zack Ryder's magnum opus, Justice League.
Zack Ryder?
Did I say Zack Ryder? Woo. Zack Snyder, his magnum opus, Justice League, which has apparently been completely taken over now by Joss Whedon. Initial reports had the film coming in over 3 hours, which filled me full of dread, because if there's one thing that Snyder does poorly, it's making a film way too... Actually, he does it really well. It's making a film way too fucking long. Mm-hmm, and it's
called pacing.
Oh, God, man, he just does not have that down. But yeah, apparently Joss has come in and cut down like an hour of the film, and the reshoots were necessary and good, and people are pretty excited about it at Warner Brothers. So, and not like in a, hey, it's going to make money no matter what way. It's
it's a Corey who has absolutely nothing really nice to say about most of the DC cinematic universe except for Wonder Woman, is actually looking forward to fucking going to see it.
If I'm going to take anything out of this, one, Jason Momoa as Aquaman is a goddamn national treasure.
Yeah, I like his whole John DiMaggio meets Lemmy Kilminster.
Seriously.
That character is so fucking great.
I can dig it. And someone who I was really apprehensive about, Ezra Miller as Flash, his take on, let's face it, it's not Barry, it's Wally, is wonderful.
He strikes me as way more of a Kyle than either one of those two, because Barry was the straight man. Wally was fathered into the superhero community. Yep. Kyle was a total outsider. Well, they needed an outsider character in order to give the audience a surrogate perspective, so that's the Flash now. Yep. He struck me as way more of a Kyle than he did any of the other Flashes. I'm sorry, I know Kyle's a Green Lantern, but you follow.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Right.
Yeah, it's an outsider's perspective. He's the everyman of the group.
Right.
And he's going to be potentially DC's Spider-Man, and I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah. He does all the internet jokes.
I just saw Homecoming, by the way. That was really good. I liked Homecoming.
That was a fucking good movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. I didn't like it more than Spider-Man 2, but I liked it a hell of a lot.
It's up there.
Yeah, it's my number 2 Spider-Man film. Easily.
I liked it for a lot of cheap reasons, and most of them were the obvious inspirations from John Hughes and such.
Oh, yeah.
That credit sequence, of course, was... that tickled my graphic design nerves pretty hard. So
it made me Italian.
Yeah. Oh, it's so spicy. Right.
So we've got Thor on November 3rd, Justice League November 17th, and Coco on November 24th. Coco is just goddamn cinematic beauty. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
I am really looking forward to this one. Just on the technical aspect of it, and also the art and the storytelling, everything about this movie, I am really looking forward to seeing.
I actually know like jack squat about the story or the basic plot itself, so I can't.
Perfect.
Okay, all right.
Let it blow your mind when you see it.
It's interesting to me. That's interesting because I've seen like 3 different trailers for it so far, and I still have no idea what's going on in the movie. I know there's a dog. I know there's a lot of Dia de los Muertos sort of imagery about it, which has gotten me once before. I know our opinions vary pretty differently with the Book of Life, but that was another one of those movies that like had things that I like in it, so obviously I'm going to be like over the moon with it, and I was so underwhelmed by it at the end. Granted, gorgeous fucking movie, but underneath all of it, I didn't find a whole lot to grasp onto.
Sure.
So I know that Coco's Pixar, and I know it's Pixar getting their hands on these ideas and these themes and stuff, so I'm expecting more, but I'm also not expecting it to be as much.
That's
not
fair.
Not to be harsh on it, but yeah.
No, it's not harsh. I think it's a reasonable expectation to go in.
Yeah.
You know, especially
you have
after
concerns.
I have concerns. Now, having said that, I still bought the Book of Life on Blu-ray because I'm an asshole. But
hey, I bought it too. I liked it. I mean,
it's fucking
about
gorgeous.
it's about as deep as a puddle, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good movie, and it really kind of goes off the rails at the end, where all of a sudden CeeLo's there, and he's a magical genie guy, I think, or
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? Like,
Yeah.
but it's a good film. I'm looking forward to Coco. I don't know a whole lot about it either, and that's on purpose. I'm actually trying to avoid. Have you seen the thing Todd does on Facebook, where he's like adamantly refusing to watch trailers?
Oh, yes.
So I'm not that crazy because I
Good
enjoy
idea,
trailers.
though. Yeah.
It is because you're not spoiled on films that way. But I'm trying to only watch one trailer for a movie. So I'm trying to watch one, and that's it. And it's usually one I either see in theaters or I check out. You know, like Star Wars was okay. The trailer's up. I got to watch it.
Yeah. Right.
But I'm trying to avoid any other ones. And I actually haven't seen a trailer for Coco yet. I've just seen like the art books and stuff like that, where I'm like, oh, that's pretty. I got to see that. And the pops.
It seems like a lot of there's pops, huh?
Oh god, yeah. There's so many fucking pops.
I know, because that was the other thing that I that kind of killed me about the Book of the Dead and or the Book of Life. Sorry, was that their pops were just fucking. I'm not a huge pop addict, but these were must-haves, especially especially Death herself, and they disappeared in like a month.
Understandably.
Yeah. It was one of those extravagant ones where you think that like they had to like create whole new molds for the figure.
Yeah.
And,
They couldn't use what they had.
Fucking scalpers market on eBay.
So also coming out on November 17th, not on the big screen, but on the small screen. You can stream it on any device you own, except the Switch, is The Punisher. And that is coming to Netflix on November 17th. That is John Barenthal's take on Frank Castle after his phenomenal performance in Daredevil Season 2. Granted, he's no Tom Jane, but we'll take what we can get. And hey, I'm going to fly that banner for forever.
And that's nothing against Bernthal, of course.
No,
but
absolutely nothing against him.
It's Tom
So
Jane.
this was supposed to debut, I think, sometime this month, but got pushed back after the Vegas massacre.
Good idea.
It's very, very good idea.
Yep.
Very smart play there by both Marvel and Netflix. I'm still looking forward to it. I'm worried that it's going to kind of fall into the same trap that everything Marvel has done on Netflix except Luke Cage, and even to a degree Luke Cage has done, where it's 9 episodes or 10 episodes, but it really should have been like 4 or 5. Yeah, where it's like, hey, story bloat.
Yeah, that's true.
Filler episode.
Yeah. Which is sadly kind of what I heard about, is a thing I've read pretty consistently about Stranger Things Season 2, but I don't know, because I've only been able to see the first 20 minutes of the first fucking episode, because I can never watch the goddamn thing of Season 1. Anyway, that's another story for another day. Now we're going to talk... fuck. Bob, you had to put this in the rundown? Really?
Yes, I did.
I've heard of this. Yes.
So
I
there's
would love to hear what you have to say about this.
Well, this is not the same entity that got your blood boiling last time. How about that?
Well, it may not be. It certainly has a similar name to it.
It's called The Predator, and it comes out next year, and it can go fuck itself.
No, it's not a remake, is it? It's supposed to be something, not even a reboot, really, but kind of like a solo-named new installment continuation, right?
Yeah, something like that, I guess. I don't know. I don't fucking care. Is it going to have Danny Glover in it?
Not
I had
likely,
no idea who's in it. No clue.
Then I don't give a shit.
I think
if Danny
all
Glover's
we've got
not in
is
it,
this lightning bolt.
the character can go fuck off.
Now, here's a couple of things to consider, though. This one's being written and directed by Shane Black.
Oh, wait, what?
Oh.
It's being written and directed by Shane Black. Did you not know this?
Is it going to take place at Christmas?
There's a good chance. It's going to be Christmas in the jungle, if anything, but...
Christmas in the jungle!
Here we got presents in coal! Here, we got backing harmonies. No, I don't know how to play this thing. All right.
Yeah, neither do I.
I'll
You tuned that thing. I've been playing it wrong the whole time.
Christmas in the jungle. Wait, Christmas in the jungle.
all right, if it's Shane Black, I'll give it a shot. But I will go in with trepidation, and I will be ready to walk the fuck out if Danny Glover is not in it. At least for one. I don't even care if it's just a picture of Danny Glover on a wall somewhere. You know, it's
they might do that. That's the thing that I'm trying to get across here is that like within the entire Predator franchise, you can play plenty of like 6 Degrees of Shane Black. But now it's actually him like at the forefront and being like, yo, guys, I'm here. I might as well be the guy. In the first movie, he was part of the platoon that originally landed in order to, I don't know, were they rescuing some refugees or something?
Taking
like
out a cartel.
Yeah.
I mean,
nobody remembers anything before the alien shows up and, you know, Jesse the Body whips out a minigun and is doing his, you know, bush hunter thing.
It was all set up to that moment.
Yeah. Shane Black was the guy in the glasses, if you want to look. Secondly, supposedly he was instrumental in getting Danny Glover onto the second movie.
Really?
Because Lethal Weapon.
Okay. Last night, Nintendo ran a Nintendo Direct for the Animal Crossing mobile game, which is called Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
Yep.
I don't know. It didn't do much for me. Like,
I'll give it a try.
To me, it really all depends on whether or not it is going to be... how much do I have to play in order to get stuff, or is this going to be like a freemium game where it's going to be pay out the ass to get stuff? Because I don't really want that.
Out of the three of us, now this is a Nintendo-developed mobile game. It's not Niantic with Pokemon Go. It wasn't shipped out to a third party. Right. Okay. So I think out of the three of us, you've been the only one to do the other first-party Nintendo mobile games, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, how did like games like Fire Pro and Super Mario Run handle the freemium pay-for content?
Well, Super Mario Run is good because it's a one-time purchase and you're done. Mm-hmm. It's $10 and out the door, and it's worth every penny of it because it's a really fucking good fun game. Mm-hmm. Fire Emblem Heroes nickeled and dimed you.
It did.
Yeah, and Fire Emblem Heroes had my attention for like a month, and that was it. Because I got to a point like every other freemium game where it's like, well, I can't go any farther. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to continue to play this game because I don't want to.
Unless you drop the Ducats on moving forward, and then it's like, you bastards.
And unfortunately to me, that's what Animal Crossing kind of looks like. Because it's like, hey, you can get this and you can trade. I'm like, no, I don't trust this resource shit. What are you doing?
Yep.
If it's a one-time purchase with an option to buy stuff, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
As long as I've got the entire game open to me and I can play it at my own pace, that's fine. Just don't inundate me with fucking ads every time I do something in order to, you know, build a fucking couch. You know, it's...
Build. Now, here's the thing. I kind of stayed away from any news concerning the portable Animal Crossing simply because I already have a portable Animal Crossing, and that one's enough for me. You know?
Yep.
So it sounds a lot like they introduced crafting into this.
They did.
Yeah. They literally even call it crafting.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm already out. Because you know how it's going to be. Mm-hmm. It's the economy is going to be completely bottlenecked within the game. Now, if it was silly things like I don't know, you drop like $1.99 on a themed set of furniture that was released for a celebratory purpose. You know, like, here's our Halloween set, so you don't have to wait for Jack to come around.
Yeah.
And you can just get this ahead of time or something like that.
It's Christmas
Totally
in
optional.
July. It's...
Yeah, things like that. But this seems like it's going to be a heavily, like... It's going to make the TF2 scrap metal economy look like Stalinism in comparison. Oh, that's great.
Not inaccurate. Hopping back now, we're going to talk about a little bit about pro wrestling here, and we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw. The upcoming pay-per-view for both brands is the Survivor Series. It's the one time of year where SmackDown and Raw go head-to-head. That's the tagline. I got to say it. Sorry.
That's right.
And
Obligated.
Coming out of TLC, which was a great pay-per-view. Thank God for viral meningitis. It's not something you hear every day, folks. The TLC pay-per-view was really good, and there were some neat storylines set up and some neat feuds set up. And then we got to the last probably about 20 minutes of Raw on Monday. And all hell broke loose. So earlier in the show, Shane McMahon popped in and said hi to Kurt, and Kurt looked like a confused grandpa, and because he is a confused grandpa. And right. Shane mentioned something about being under siege, and if you have any brain in your body, you realized, hey, SmackDown's invading tonight.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of when.
Or they're referencing the old Steven Seagal movie for whatever reason.
Yeah, or Shane just signed a deal with Steven Seagal. One of the two.
Right.
Either are equally plausible, to be honest with you. But anyway, so we get to the last 20 minutes of Raw, and Kurt comes out to announce the Survivor Series Raw men's roster. And here comes Shane, and here comes the entire SmackDown roster, and then all hell broke loose. Yep. Quite literally. People were getting beat up. Matt Hardy was taking a dump and got the crap kicked out of him in the toilet.
Whatever crap was left in him.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
I don't think he had time to wash his hands, so there's more just scabies flying around.
Did you see when Jason Jordan got jumped, the first person that got to him?
Yeah, it's Chad Gable, which was awesome.
Yep.
Also, Jason Jordan got destroyed by Elias earlier in the show, who swung that baseball bat like fucking Rogers Hornsby. I think Rogers Hornsby was a pitcher. Hold on. Like Babe Ruth. And just destroyed this thing over Jason Jordan's arm. I thought his arm broke.
Baseball bat? You mean the guitar?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
He swung that fucking thing like it was a baseball bat, and it just exploded. Like, this was not a gimmicked guitar.
We were talking about this the other day, and I think that, for one thing, you can't play a gimmick guitar before the show, but for a little while I thought it was just the old switcheroo. He would put the guitar over next to the bell, they'd put a gimmicked one next to it, and then they would take the gimmick guitar, and then poof, sawdust, slap nuts, exit stage right.
No sawdust.
Yeah, I think he uses, for one thing, the guitar that he bonked Finn Balor with, the one that gave him that pretty grievous injury.
Yeah, the concussion.
If you look closely at the video, you see what hits him, and it's a part of the guitar that it's the pickup. It's the plastic, the hard plastic bit that you're able to jack the amp in. And some acoustic guitars use that, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not a gimmick guitar. A pickup does not belong on a gimmick guitar. What the fuck is this? And I think that's kind of his thing now. He'll ask people or try to get people to agree to, like, hey, how about we actually use a real guitar on you so that people begin buying this as a viable threat? And it's like, is that all that he brought to the character? Was he can play a guitar pretty well. I mean, there's that. But this has been done before so many times, but this is a new dimension of it by adding reality to it. And I'm not quite sure that the payoff is worth the performance investment that's demanded.
Well, I think when they used the phony guitars, it was blatantly obvious.
So those balsa wood stuff was sawdust.
Right.
I mean, I always knew that, yeah.
And this day and age, if a guitar explodes into a poof of dust, no one's going to buy that.
Right.
If a guitar splinters the way that his do, it's going to have more of an impact on the viewer.
Visibly.
Yes.
Yeah, evidently.
Especially when Jordan's arm starts welting up and turning purple right there on the set.
Yeah. When they cut back to Jordan laying on the ground and they showed his arm, I thought his arm was broken.
Yeah.
Like, because I was like, that's fucking holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, when he hit him, I stood up. I was sitting on the couch and I was like, oh my God.
So that's kind of what I'm wondering. His riff on the character is about. It's like, hey, it's honky tonk man, but threatening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this: when they called him up, I was like, he'll be done in 3 months. He'll be released. Really? There's no way this guy's getting over. That dude's a fucking heat magnet.
Yeah,
He is the most
good.
over heel on that roster right now.
I actually enjoy his shit. He's pretty funny.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too. And it's fun, and he's great, and he's good in the ring. Like I remember going to NXT shows, and he was like Jobber to the Stars, Elias Sampson, in his fancy green and gold tights, and just like, hey everybody, I've got short hair, and then he turned into the Drifter. I was like, this is dumb, and now I'm all on board, all in.
Yeah, and now he's like one of the ushers for the golden age of heels that is currently the WWE, because fucking A, Sami Zayn
Yep.
and Alicia Fox are two of the most entertaining bastards on their airwaves.
Where's my T-shirt?
Dude, Alicia's awesome.
Dude, when they announced that it was going to be her and Sasha and Bailey for the captain's chair for the Raw team, like the first thought was, okay, so Alicia has to win because I want her to name like the Aflac Duck, 3 of the Muppets, and a can of Coke is the women's roster for Survivor Series. So I was like, you can do anything with this. She's insane.
Yeah.
And she's marvelous. And she's wonderful. And she's okay in the ring. She's getting a lot better in the ring than she used to be.
Yeah,
but
there are some problems there. And the whole no-selling thing, I don't think will last very long unless something's done about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did enjoy her standing behind Bailey and doing the same actions that she did. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was golden.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to the invasion. So we had Matt Hardy take a dump and get the shit kicked out of him, or shit kicked back into him. Who knows?
Wow.
We had Jason Jordan get beat up by Chad Gable. Dean and Seth were the only 2 people that apparently remembered that there are monitors backstage and watched this happening, and got up on top of a stack of boxes and jumped on the SmackDown roster from above with steel chairs, and they got the shit kicked out of them. My favorite part of the entire thing, other than the New Day being the New Day and just being marvelous, 2 parts. Becky apologizing to Goldust for punching him, which she hit him in.
Goldust.
So did I. I missed that.
Goldust ran in one of the groups where Kurt Hawkins was, and everyone beat him up. And as they were moving on, Becky turns around and goes, "Sorry," and runs off after everybody else. It was wonderful. And then, shit, what was it going to be? Fuck, what was the other one? Oh, Bobby Roode gently pushing over a television. Like, look, Raw! Yeah. And he gently pushes this monitor over. Like, let's not break that, please. And
As technicians, yeah, that was pretty much the same reaction.
Right.
Don't break it. Don't just put it over. Put it down.
Yeah.
Put it down.
You know, there's a PA standing right off frame, just going, "Don't you fucking do it! Don't you fucking do it!"
It's like,
I couldn't imagine doing set work on that fucking show.
oh God.
Because how much of it's like, I don't know. It's like pretty closely implied that, you retain responsibility for certain elements of a production, but there's got to be special case scenarios for working in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't go backstage a whole lot now.
Right.
They did this episode.
Yeah. Well, they had to bag one of them. And that's another thing.
Yeah, they grabbed like a tech or somebody who was wearing a headset. And
Who are you? Who?
Well, they didn't show him getting thrown in anything. They just grabbed him and brought him off camera.
Yeah.
And we didn't see what happened to him. I was like, what happened to the tech? I'm concerned about him.
I guarantee you that
Rusev
before that
ate
happened, though, because it is the new WWE.
Rusev ate him.
What's it, huh?
Rusev ate him.
Oh my God.
Oh, by the way, Rusev right up there with the new breed of heels too. I love Rusev. Give me more Rusev.
More Rusev Day, please.
I hear he's doing new stuff. I haven't gotten to see it yet, so
he was on Twitter.
yours.
He was on Twitter last night during SmackDown, and he was bitching the entire time. And like at the end of it, he goes, "I'm so sorry. Apparently, Grumpy Rusev is here today. Please forgive me. You all have a lovely day." I'm like, the world needs more Grumpy Rusev.
All right. Well,
Rusev number 1.
That remains a surprise for me left to discover.
Yes.
So good. But yeah, as far as like our beleaguered PA, I think guaranteed, like, because this is the kinder, gentler locker room of the WWE, that there are at least like 5 people in that whole bit that asked him if it would be okay, and they still handled him with kid gloves. Because I'm pretty sure at least one of those guys remembers the stories about Paul White picking on stagehands. Yeah. And it ain't that kind of world anymore.
True.
Yeah, for better.
So final bit of news before we get into the main topic tonight. Stan Lee is becoming a series of pops that are going to be exclusive at Walmart. And they are featuring his cameos from the Marvel films. So the images we have so far, we've got Stan from Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I believe. Mm-hmm. And Captain America, where he was the general.
Yeah. But not the best Stan Lee cameo, where he's at the geriatrics home in Iron Man 3, judging a beauty contest.
True.
Yeah. I want Stan Lee with a shawl.
I want stripper DJ Stan Lee from Deadpool.
Oh, shit! I forgot about that! Because it's a Fox movie.
Yep.
And you don't register that with a Fox movie. Son of a bitch.
Yep. All right, so we're going to move on now. This is our last episode before the first major holiday of the next 3 months. Last episode before Halloween. And we're going to talk some of our favorite scary and Halloween things. Now, you guys might remember we Okay. You guys might remember at the beginning of the month we mentioned that we wanted to get a paranormal investigator on for this episode. We talked about it on Twitter. We reached out to a few. We sent out copies of our podcast, let them know more about us so they can get used to the way we talk and the way we talk to people. And we never heard from them. So we're going to talk to us then, because we're the three that matter here.
As soon as I burp into the microphone.
Yeah, that's what scared them off.
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and key that one in, right away.
I didn't send them the pizza ramp, but maybe I should have.
God damn it. So we are going to talk first about our not three. We're just going to talk about some of our favorite movies to watch around Halloween. Mm-hmm. And I'll start off. My personal favorite to watch around Halloween is Cabin in the Woods. I am not a big horror guy, as you guys know. Halloween is not a scary time for me. I'm more about the treats than the tricks, I guess, for lack of a better term. But I fucking love Cabin in the Woods. Have you not seen it, Bob?
No, I have not seen Cabin in the Woods.
Okay, I really can't say a whole lot about it then, because if I go into too much detail about the plot, it's going to give away some really great twists.
Mm-hmm. I know of it. I know it has I want to say the movie is comparable, not really comparable, but has some similarities to, I think it was Love and Ghosts.
Superficially and very superficially.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's a stretch to make that comparison, but
there's you could say that about a lot of different films. It's definitely an homage.
Right, yeah.
But it is not something I want to spoil for you. I do strongly urge you to see it though, because it's goddamn glorious. And I know there's one that Corey's gonna tee up and knock out of the park right now for.
Which he hasn't seen yet either.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. No,
Bob!
I haven't offered to
I'm putting it on the list. Yeah, my God,
we're gonna go get my stuff out of the storage unit in another day or so.
Literally, I'm running it down.
I offered to
Cabin in the Woods.
I offered to give him the Blu-ray if he would watch it this month.
You got to watch it, dude. It's so again, not a horror fan, but Corey, what's yours?
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. So
once a year.
Good.
Yeah. And I was about to start talking about Halloween Horror Nights after.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Trick or Treat. Fucking just everything you want out of a Halloween movie about Halloween, granted, but still, they do it so friggin' right.
Yeah, Trick or Treat is funny, it's terrifying, it's smart, it's ridiculously well made on a shoestring fucking budget.
Yes.
And
because there was almost no marketing for it when it first came out.
Yeah. It's goddamn wonderful. It's just if I can get into it, it's great.
And dude, one thing you haven't mentioned is all the cocks that's in it.
Yeah.
So much cocks.
Yeah, lots of cocks.
Whole lot of cocks. Yeah. Brian
so
Cox,
much
the
Brian
Scottish
Cox.
character actor.
He is all over it. And he's just he's in almost every frame. And there's times where he's kind of shrunken down. There's times where he's fully erect, but there's cocks everywhere.
Thanks for running with that.
You got it.
All right. So we got that out of our system, I think. I don't know.
All right,
I'm
Bob,
good. I'm good.
Bob, how about you? Halloween movies that you dig?
Nothing with cocks in mind. I enjoy watching Swamp Thing at this time of the year because it's got a bunch of monsters in it. Which doesn't match because Cabin in the Woods, Trick or Treat, Swamp Thing. One of these things is not like the other.
Swamp Thing counts.
Yeah,
it's still supernatural.
Yeah, it's more of a comic book movie than a monster movie.
That's okay.
Well, technically, so is Trick or Treat. It got its own graphic novels when the movie came out.
Holy shit! Wes Craven directed the first one?
Get the fuck out of here! I did.
No shit. That's crazy. I had no idea. Adrienne Barbeau was in the first one.
Okay, all right. So it wasn't Adrienne Barbeau.
And so was Ray Wise. Ray Wise was Alec Holland. That's fantastic.
Ray, are you kidding me?
No, not even a little bit.
They couldn't get Dick Durock, who played Swamp Thing. They couldn't get him to play Alec Holland because the two body frames are completely separate.
Okay. So it was like a Darth Vader situation.
A lot, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Although I really would have been interested to see James Earl Jones on screen as Darth Vader as well. I'm not quite sure it would have been as intimidating, but still very intrigued.
Definitely.
So right, Swamp Thing.
I like to go back to the classic Universal monster movies, and if anyone has watched any of our stuff, you guys know I'm a huge fan of The Creature from the Black Lagoon,
the Gill Man,
which I just watched yesterday, as a matter of fact.
So you got that ticked off the list already.
Oh yeah. That's I watch that 2 or 3 times a year. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
It's just is good. It's just so good.
Yeah. There's just those movies that are like such a tautly wound part of your like pop cultural DNA that you have to go back to the beacon every once in a while.
Yep.
It's like comfort food almost.
For me, it's stuff like that, Big Lebowski, Iron Giant. Especially now that the kid is obsessed with Iron Giant, like that's like a...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he discovered that on his own. Like he's like, I watched the Iron Giant. It's awesome. He found it on Netflix.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a proud Papa Day right there. I was like, hell yeah.
Once upon a time, Junior, there was 2-dimensional animation, and it was quality all the time. Yeah.
So what else you got, Corey?
Not quite a movie, really. But it isn't even something that I got to do this year because my shit's been in storage since June or July. But my Kolchak marathon usually happens at the beginning of October. Carloween! But I'm going to have to cram all that stuff into like 2 days once I get back to Chicago. Which, be able to watch it on Kolchak's stomping grounds, which is going to be kind of interesting.
I'm so disappointed that Kolchak was filmed in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a letdown. Like, that was going to be such a good day trip. Just like, we're going to go find all of Kolchak's old haunts. No, we're not.
Kolchak was filmed in Los Angeles. The Sting was filmed in Los Angeles.
Seinfeld
was filmed in Los Angeles, yeah.
You know what was not filmed in Los Angeles? High Fidelity. High Fidelity was absolutely filmed in Chicago.
Yeah, and they actually, there's like a High Fidelity tour, or there's like a minor movie stop tour, and High Fidelity's part of it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And apparently, the bar that I stopped at, which was apparently the bar that not Harvey Bullock got waxed in The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
That was in another movie called Return to Me with Minnie Driver and David Duchovny.
Never heard of
it. Reading the plot's kind of twisted. Apparently, like, David Duchovny's wife dies or something, but the person that gets her organs because she signed an organ donor card is Minnie Driver, and then like them two meet, and then they fall in love somehow, and I don't know. There's something.
I'm in love with your liver.
I'm in love with your your guts. Right, I know. And there's something like kind of just a little, I don't know, morbid about that.
Yeah, that's a lot morbid.
Yeah, but they ate at the same bar too. And there's all sorts of other places. Like I don't have to mention now that The Dark Knight was filmed primarily there. Mm-hmm. It's fun living in like a movie town because there's all these like not ruins to discover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about you, Bob? Anything else?
Yeah, I like the kaiju monster movies, and one of my favorite is Godzilla Final Wars. That's a recent one where every like 10 to 15 years.
Is that where Godzilla fights Godzilla and all the other versions?
Godzilla fought Zilla. Yes.
Zilla, yeah.
It wasn't a fight. It was a smash.
He gets his shit pushed right in.
Yeah. He knocks him down, shoots him, over, done.
He fights all the other monsters too, right? Like it's
everything you can name.
It's like a fucking episode of Kaiju Big Battle, and just like
Yeah, about once every 10 to 15 years, Toho retires Godzilla, and then they bring him back when the nostalgia is like at its highest. And this was one of the retirement go-away for Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like one of the more recent ones.
Yeah, but you know who didn't show up? Gamera.
Well,
That
Gamera's
piece of
not.
shit.
He's not owned by Toho.
Yeah, I know, but maybe
One day.
maybe like whoever owns him could have been like, you know what? Fine, it worked for Robert Zemeckis. We can make it happen.
So I'm actually going to switch up for my final one. I'm going to switch out of scary movies and kind of do with what Corey said. Go with a TV show that is more of the supernatural variety, and I like checking out old episodes of The Outer Limits.
Nice.
I know there are there are typically Twilight Zone and Outer Limits camps. I'm happy to be in both.
Bullshit. That is a myth. No, listen. Okay. You're into the Twilight Zone. You're into anthology sci-fi, period. And that means you do not discriminate. There's going to be the Twilight Zone, there's going to be the Outer Limits, there's going to be Night Gallery, which is honestly kind of Twilight Zone by proxy because it's still Rod Serling, you know. But you can't be like into the Twilight Zone and still into like Twilight Zone 1980s and keep a straight face. So most of the people that are into any of these, if you're dealing with younger people and they're like, no, Night Gallery, then they're just not into it, period. It's ornamental for them. If you're into anthology sci-fi, you're into anthology sci-fi, period. And that's all I've gotten out of any fans of those three properties. It wouldn't make any sense anyway. Because they're basically the same formats. And writers from one show tended to migrate between the other ones, especially with Night Gallery afterwards, which was... Rod Serling brought most of his people over to that anyway. So it's like, why is there discrimination here? Have you just not seen the other ones? Or apparently I have feelings about this. Let's get back to you. Sorry.
Buttons.
I really like watching The Outer Limits. I think it's a great show. It is
a good show.
It is my personal favorite of the sci-fi anthology stuff because it's more sci-fi than it is horror, I guess, for lack of a better term, or
Sure. Twilight Zone
Weird
went pretty
Occasion.
much all over the place.
Twilight Zone to me was more Weird Occasion than it was Aliens from Another World or anything like that. Like it was more cryptids and what if this happened? It was like a giant what if comic to me.
Like intellectually.
Yeah.
I used to watch The Outer Limits when I lived up north because they used to rerun it on I think the Fox network up there on the weekends.
Oh, that's the best.
It was. This is back before Fox was Fox. This is even before The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So it was. I used to watch it on Saturdays, and I loved it. Absolutely fucking loved it.
It's like you get home from grocery shopping with your parents, and you're just like, ugh, what do you do now?
Yep.
Oh.
Do not
I have something to do
adjust
for the next 3
your
hours.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good pick.
I remember stumbling across that for the first time as a kid, and it was just like, holy shit, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And
yeah. What I'm kind of hoping is that, like, at some point, a streaming service gets wise and tries to get, like, all of the anthology, like the vintage anthology series together. Even the Twilight Zone from the 2000s. It was still good.
Is that the one with Forrest Whitaker?
The one with Forrest Whitaker. Yeah, I'm not going to make fun of his eye. That's the first thing you think of, and I hate that about me. I'm sorry. Yes, the one with Forrest Whitaker, who was a fantastic host. But more importantly, the one where Jason Alexander played a depressed version of Death, which was, to me, pretty fucking great.
Shit, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
A lot of them were pretty quality. But there was also a lot that people don't remember. Like, there was a Friday the 13th show from the 80s that was pretty neat.
I remember that one, Tales from the Crypt.
What's up?
I also remember the Tales from the Crypt.
Let's bring Are You Afraid of the Dark into this shit.
Shit,
Why not?
yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah. Colin Ferguson as a ghost sergeant. Yeah. Haunted pinball machine traps a kid inside. That doesn't work. But hey, even Gravity Falls remembered that one and remade it.
I really wish that there was a streaming service that replayed Eureka, because this would be a good time to watch Eureka again. And Warehouse 13.
Warehouse 13's off?
All those good early 2000s, mid 2000s sci-fi shows are streaming nowhere right now.
That's not good.
No.
That is not a good thing.
Not at all.
All right. Well, shit.
So what's your next one, Corey?
All right, my next one and my final one is I try to make every Halloween a new discovery of a horror movie.
Okay.
Like one that I've never seen before. If I've never even heard about it, the better. But I do have kind of like a backlog of horror movies that I have not seen. Because, damn, there's a lot of them. Excuse me. And this year, God, I haven't even picked one out yet because I've been so, it's been rush hour continuously since I moved up here. But as soon as I let you know, or as soon as I know, then y'all will know at the same time. But that's another ritual. It's got to be like
the flares.
Yep, exactly.
Well, you did see it, right?
What's up?
You saw it, you said.
I did see it. That was more of an event thing, though. I mean, like this is like something that you hear about in your living room, or something that you're scrolling through Netflix one night, and you're like, oh, I've heard a little bit about that. That was how it kind of got cozy with Scott Derrickson's pre-Doctor Strange stuff, which is way fucking different than that movie. And he does like very like illustrative and very visually rich stuff. And in a couple of movies, he gets like too clever with the camera for his own good, but they're still really interesting and acceptably cheesy movies. But they're not even similar in like philosophy to Doctor Strange at all. I'm like structural philosophy. I mean, as far as like putting the movie together goes. And that was pretty much a treat, and that happened last year. So, who knows what it's going to be this year?
So, moving on then from movies, Bob, what was your favorite Halloween costume as a kid?
As a kid,
yeah,
my parents didn't let me trick or treat.
What?
Yeah,
God damn it, that's right.
Wasn't your?
Yeah, my parents always every fall would decide, okay, we need to get family photos done. Oh, look. October 31st, they have a discount. Let's go that night. Meanwhile, we're at the mall and Sears, and other kids are walking around in costume. Oh, I forgot it was Halloween. No, you didn't. Yeah, my no.
Did it ever come out that what you suspected, the reason that you suspected was actually the case, or was that never explicitly stated at any point?
I tried, and I failed in that conversation. So. That's why I did more Halloween costumes as an adult.
Yeah, because you never got to. Man, that sucks. That should be
I am
child abuse.
shocked by that. Your mom was a fucking costumer.
No.
No.
Not my mom.
Right, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Never mind. All is clear now.
No.
All is clear.
We both know that his mom's basically party central. She wouldn't give a shit. She would help. She would strategize the entire damn affair.
That's true.
Like, unconditionally.
Yeah, she would say, what do you want to be? Oh, you want to be this guy? Okay, well, I can get this wig and that outfit and this shirt and this. I can get everything for you. Boom. Done.
And
get out there.
And then she'd be like, and when you're done, we're going to have a party back at my house. And guess what?
Bourbon in a bag.
I don't know what the legal drinking age is, Bobby.
But tonight, it's 10 tonight.
It's 10. So here we go with the Bottles and James. And, I heard you kids like the Zima now? Here's the Zima.
Bartles and James wine coolers.
That's what the Bartles and James is basically the easy mode for alcoholism. That's
breaking the kids into
alcoholism.
Dude. That's right.
Bartles and James were all of my high school parties.
Pretty much,
like fucking.
It was your graduation party.
Exactly. Yeah, that was everyone just got like not lit off of Bartles and James, even though we thought we was.
Yeah. We all acted like we were. We were moderately buzzed.
All right. So for any of the people that aren't old that are listening to this, Bartles and James is just basically the Alpha Bill for Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yes, it is. Fisher Price's My First Drink. They were all like strawberry.
They came
kiwi.
in sippy cups.
Yeah.
None of them tasted like alcohol. They were all like crazy fruit flavor combinations. It's strawberry kiwi. It's watermelon mango.
They just tasted like super crisp versions of soda, and you wouldn't know. And that was the point, I guess. But whatever. Yeah, it was a Bartles and James sort of decade.
So how about you, Corey? What was your favorite Halloween costume as a kid?
My parents were surprisingly ingenious when it came to putting our costumes together. Like one year, I wanted to be Pac-Man because the video game thing was a lifelong obsession, and I can't apologize for that. But how the fuck are you going to turn this into Pac-Man? So what my mom did was she got like a couple of poster boards, doubled them up, and cut out Pac-Man from both of them, sandwich boarded it, glued eyes onto the front and the back, made a top hat out of construction paper, cut holes into the hat, put that on my head. So clever as fuck.
That's goddamn brilliant.
Not my favorite costume, though. Favorite costume was my dad helping me put together the tools and stuff for a Batman costume when the Tim Burton movie came out, because I was obsessed with Batman that year.
That's awesome.
That was really cool. So we were like, that was right after he finished building his shop onto the back of the house. So he had like the lathe and everything back there, and it was just like, a maker's paradise before maker had that douchey connotation with it. And he helped me make a set of batarangs. He made a little grappling hook for me.
That's badass.
With like a spool of twine on it.
Oh my god!
The only thing we couldn't do was the belt. We couldn't figure out how to make the belt look real enough, so we just kind of like clipped everything to one of his like tool belts, which was still pretty boss.
Yeah,
like a Kevlar.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I think in doing so, we created a new Elseworlds Batman, which was Bruce Wayne without the money. It was a fucking bomb-ass costume.
He went to Home Depot with $112.
Shit you not. The mask was made out of felt, and the cape was Joanne Fabric Special.
Nice.
So, yeah. But it was the coolest fucking costume I'd ever worn.
That's
awesome. So, yeah, that one I'm going to remember for a long fucking time.
My favorite costume as a kid, it was 4th grade, I think.
You were Jesus.
No.
That works. That works.
I made a Jay Garrick costume. I made a hat out of paper mache.
Okay.
Which looked as bad as you can imagine a hat made out of paper mache would look. I got a red sweatshirt and painted the big lightning bolt on it. I had blue jeans that I painted the bolts down the side on.
That's cool.
And I went as Jay Garrick for Halloween that year, and no one knew who I was.
Those are the best costumes, though.
I know, and I was happy.
Those are the best fucking costumes. Before Evil Dead 2 became like a cult thing, I think it was either... no, it was you. It was you and I that walked around Cape Coral, and I had a chainsaw on me, right?
Yep.
And just a fucked up shirt and some jeans.
Yep.
And nobody knew who I was.
Yep.
Nobody knew what Ash Williams was at that point.
You remember who I went as that year, right?
I don't. Shit. Who?
Kevin Matchstick.
That's fucking right. Yeah, you wore the Suicide Jack trench coat.
Yep, the Suicide Jack trench coat. I had the maid shirt and I carried the baseball bat.
So we basically
we got warm soda from a house that year.
That's right.
It was like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, here, you can have soda. We're like, thanks. And it was like warm orange Fanta. It was gross.
Yeah. I don't know. That was still a score, though, because there were some houses, because we were kind of trendsetters with this whole being over 16 and still trick-or-treating bit, that wouldn't give us anything.
Yep.
They're like, you're too old for this. Get the fuck out.
Yep.
And like, you just see, in 20 years, this stuff, you're not even going to want to know where it goes. Mm-hmm. Sexy fucking Jason costumes and whatever else. I don't know. What was the big thing? Sexy clown this year?
Yeah. Sexy Pennywise. No thanks.
Sexy Pennywise.
So if you weren't allowed to do it as a kid, Bob, what's been your favorite costume as an adult?
Well, I'll tell you my last three. Last year I was Kevin Owens. I got the crew cut and I had the big gold belt over my shoulder as my kids trick-or-treated.
That one was good.
Year before that I was the 4th Doctor.
Okay.
Oh shit! Yeah, you went all out for that one, didn't you?
Well, yeah. All I had to do was get the.
Right there.
I got. Yeah. Well, I can't take it down, but I have the scarf that my aunt made for me. She's a big Star Trek fan. And she. Just roll with it. Just keep going.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
The set's falling apart.
The spirits of Halloween are.
Yes. My Aunt Patty, she's a big Star Trek fan. She made me that Doctor Who scarf, and it's probably easily 15 feet long.
That's awesome.
So all I had to do is get like a purple coat, and I have a big hat, and it worked.
Yep.
The year before that, I got another crew cut, yellow sunglasses, vest.
Oh shit!
And I was Walter Sobchak.
I remember that one.
You weren't Walter Sobchak. You were the spitting freaking image of Walter Sobchak. That was a well done costume.
I was very happy with that. But you were just talking about when you and Jay trick or treated.
Yeah.
And that reminded me of one of my favorites and I did.
I know which one this is. Mm-hmm.
Black suit, white shirt, sunglasses. He and I walking around downtown Orlando, and people couldn't figure it out if we were the Men in Black or the Blues Brothers.
That's awesome.
We were kind of like a hybrid of the two.
Yeah. But after a while, weren't we like, we're both? So it depended upon who asked us.
Yeah, because you had a neuralizer, and I had a harmonica.
I did, yeah.
So it made no sense. We go to a restaurant. Oh, who are you guys supposed to be?
You
I'm Jake Blues. Yeah. You're K.
I'm K, right. We just kind of met over at the bar over there, and he was just like, man, I love the blues. And I'm like, man, I like arresting aliens. Let's go trick-or-treating. I think at heart we were really just playing like escape mental patients.
We do that every day.
Yeah, that's true. Right. Anyway, yeah.
So I actually went as Kevin Owens last year as well, which is probably my favorite one so far that I've done as an adult. Although this year I'm going as because I just watched the series again. I'm going as Luke from Gilmore Girls, and no one will know who I am because I'm just going to be a dude in a flannel shirt with a hat on backwards.
That's true.
So this is your trial run right here?
No, the hat has to be blue, and I got to shave. But it's
that's not happening.
Well, no, it's going to be just shaved down pretty far. It's too long right now anyway, so I gotta cut it close before winter so it can actually grow in. Otherwise, in the middle of December, I'm going to shave it short, and it's going to be too fucking cold, and I'm going to freeze. So there's a method to my madness. But yeah, I would say Owens is probably my favorite one because that one was fun because actually people knew who the hell I was.
Was Victor part of your costume so that whenever anybody comes up to you, you can say, "I have a family"?
No,
no. Please tell me he dressed as Sami Zayn.
No, that year Victor went as because that was our first Christmas up here. I think that was the year he went as Green Lantern.
Oh, cool. Which one?
I think John, just the one he liked the most because he'd seen the cartoons.
Okay, because JLA. So
yeah.
Not the one true.
No.
Well,
and
can't be perfect.
The Jon Stewart costume was easy because they sold it at a store. So it was like, okay, yes, you can be that. You can be Green Lantern, and you can have this this light up yellow or light up green sword. So.
Oh, really? You found a place that was still selling like movie merch?
Yeah.
Damn, I want some of that shit.
Yeah. So what's your favorite adult costume, Corey?
My favorite adult costume.
You've had some good ones the last few years.
It's usually the ones that are like. See, the reason I like your Walter Sobchak so much is because it blew way past Halloween costume and way straight into the nearly impenetrable world of really good cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the best costumes, or some of my favorite costumes that I've done, weren't necessarily for the benefit of Halloween, because there was like a time a little while ago where I did a lot of cons and I would do cosplays for those, or at least attempt to. And the best one I ever did was the Lupin the Third costume, because I spent like a good month maybe trying to find like each element, because I can't sew for shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the seamstress gene, and I tried looking for a red jacket. Just try finding just the red fucking jacket. Yeah. One that fit my unusually slight frame, or was even slighter at the time. I had to find a pair of skinny jeans before skinny jeans were a trend. I had to find a... Did I wear a pink tie or the golden tie?
You wore the golden tie.
It was the golden tie?
Okay.
All right. Still pretty fucking rare. And the black button-up shirt wasn't a big deal. And in addition to that, I had to try to sell some poor barber on the idea of giving me a hairstyle that was arguably in fashion 3 decades ago.
Can you make me as round as possible
up
here?
Could you make the top part of my head look like an 8-ball sawed in half? And I had to give him a cartoon reference. I want you to make me look like a cartoon.
I can imagine that salon guy going into work that day. He's like, what is this shit?
Y'all remember the costume, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She killed it. She killed that haircut.
Yeah.
I couldn't have asked for a better job on that. Granted, I'm not like very hormonally blessed, so I can't do sideburns, and I refuse to do stick-ons. But that was a goddamn good costume.
Yep.
And I have and you know how hard on myself I am with stuff like this, for pretty much everything I do. I was satisfied with it, and I knew that was a good costume because people kept asking me for my picture at MegaCon, the MegaCon that I went to that year. So it's going to be that one as an adult. Sadly, I never wore Lupin the Third for Halloween because I'm like, well, I had a little bit too much of the "Who the fuck are you" in high school. So,
sure,
yeah.
Bob,
I will say your 12th Doctor was really good. what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
I think that was 2 years ago. That was when you got the jacket, or when I had to order the jacket and you had to receive it because I moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not bad.
My
hair was pretty much like this.
I personally liked your number 9.
The number 9 was good.
And I liked doing that photo shoot at Christmas time too. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Damn, that was a good costume.
Yeah.
I forgot how much of a lucky shot it was that I actually found that pea coat.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I had to modify it myself, so thank you, Mary, for making that happen.
Yep.
Or helping me make that happen. But that was also a good costume. Shit.
Bob, what's your favorite costume that your kids have worn so far?
Oh boy. Let's see. This year they're going as Frodo Baggins and Goku. That's gonna be a weird family walk down the street. Yeah. Because I don't know what I'm doing this year. I'm probably gonna repeat one of the last 3, and just the 3 of us walking down. I was like, quick, shut off the light, lock the door.
So Victor this year is going as a Squidling from Splatoon.
Nice.
Oh,
And
okay.
Meredith made him a hat today that has the tentacles on it, and I actually did like a gradient spray. I put some cardboard circles down on it and did a spray with some spray paint on the tentacles to make them darker towards the bottom and lighter towards the top, and then I popped the circles off so he's got little suckers on them.
That's quality.
Wow.
We're giving him a roller, and it came with a plastic sheath, so we ran blue paint around the sheath that goes over the roller, so he's actually got like an already inked up roller. And we've made him a backpack that's going to have two soda bottles that we put blue paint in, that he's going to have a tube going into the roller that he's going to wear on his back.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's going to look good. I'm pretty excited about it.
Quality.
So,
Those the memories, the Halloween memories of making your own costume are always going to be the ones that are almost unkillable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that stay with you for fucking ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well
So
done.
Corey, you were able to go to Halloween Horror Nights this year.
Oh yeah. That was the other reason for me coming down here. Not to hang out with you two losers. Whatever. But
So tell us about it. What was did you get to see the Bill and Ted show?
I didn't get to see the Bill and Ted show.
Okay, we're done here then.
What's that?
I said okay, we're done here then.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I almost did. I don't know. Me and the Bill and Ted show have kind of a complicated relationship.
Fair enough.
Because the first time I saw it, here's the thing that people don't know about the Bill and Ted Halloween Spectacular. It's like a show starring, not Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves, doing basically a comedy sort of variety show extravaganza for around 15 to 20 minutes or so, and a lot of it's pop cultural. Random isn't sufficient enough to describe the Bill and Ted Halloween show, because what happens is that they show up, and then just a bunch of references happen. They'll be there, and then all of a sudden, Daenerys Targaryen will be up on a giant movie screen behind them, but without a shirt on, because they're making fun of how every character, or how she showed up in the Game of Thrones with like no shirt on. And then suddenly they'll do the theme to Game of Thrones, and it'll show every character in the show, and none of them will have a shirt on. So it's literally just like censor blocks all over their midsections. We get it, guys. They show a lot of titty on Game of Thrones. Gotcha. The show that I went to, Blurred Lines, was a big deal that year. So out of nowhere, boom, fucking what's that guy's name? A Robin Thicke, Airsat's Robin Thicke shows up and begins singing it while Bill and Ted are on the screen, mugging it up. And it was just cringy as shit, and I couldn't wait to get out of there.
Fair enough.
But I was kind of glad that something that stupid existed at Halloween Horror Nights, because everything else is so fierce,
There's a balance, you're saying.
There's a balance. It's basically the let's say you're just doing scotches of like finely aged, really expensive, or shots of finely aged, really expensive scotch. Okay, after your sixth one, you're like, all I taste is scotch. Well, you gotta bust back like an orange juice or a water, like a club soda or something.
You need a palate cleanser.
You need a palate cleanser, right? And it's usually not like juice or something. It's kind of flavorless, and it can be found anywhere. And it's like the lowest common denominator of beverages, and that's Bill and Ted.
Okay.
So,
So what was your favorite bit at Halloween Horror Nights this year?
my favorite bit was the trick or treat scare zone. That's kind of why I went, because as soon as I saw pictures of it, I'm like, I want to live there. So I went there, And I saw it, and I was like, am I staring at this? I'm staring at this. And I think I stared at it for like a good 5 minutes. Then I started walking through it. And then at the end of it, they had alcohol. So I went over there and I grabbed a cocktail, which was like not as mean as it sounds, but it was supposed to be like a combo cocktail over the 2 other branded cocktails for that event. And they put it in like a divided mug so you can sip out of both of them at once.
That's cool as shit.
Which is like, pretty properly decadent, except I think in the entire drink there was maybe like 3 CLs of total alcohol combined, but whatever. Anyway, I grabbed one of those, and I went back into the scare zone, and I stayed there so long that the dudes walking around, they're like, boo, doing that. They didn't even bother anymore.
They just walked. They gave you that
hey, Corey.
that waiter glance.
They're like, hey, Corey. And I'm like, hey, Billy Wilkerson, what's up? Kill a kid yet? No, because it's fiberglass. All right. They did it so well, that's one
awesome.
part of the park. I also wanted to do like a quick power ranking of the houses that they did have.
Sure.
If anybody's watching for Halloween Horror Nights, if you would hand me the giant Vanna White placard, please. I'll
help you out.
You want to help me out with that? Okay. Now, the thing that a lot of people don't know about Halloween Horror Nights when they go to this event is that there are original houses also. Because what does Universal do? They pimp out the licensed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, and this has not been the hard and fast rule, the original ones are better, way better than the licensed ones.
Sure.
But just to give you an idea, we've got your licensed ones are American Horror Story. We've got Blumhouse, which is the 3 movies, Sinister, Insidious, and The Purge. Ash vs. the Evil Dead, The Shining, and then Saw, which I didn't even do, so it's at the bottom. The Fallen was cool as fuck.
Okay.
The Fallen was basically if you took every single heavy metal album plus a couple of Clive Barker book covers and crammed it all into one house, and then the people that were there were like, you know what? The concept isn't enough. We need to do some shit that other people in the other haunted houses aren't even doing. So there was like people flying down off of wires at you.
What?
There was one dude at the end that literally he falls off of an arch that you pass underneath like this, but a harness catches him in the middle, so he's about to hit you, and he doesn't. He just screams his ass off at you, and you're like, "That's enough! You had me before the vocals. I'm gone. Don't fall any further." That place was mazzo, and like everything from the visual concept of it to the execution, it didn't top La Llorona from 2013, but it came damn close. I'm gonna try to be brief with the other ones. AHS was the second house that I enjoyed, and I put it up to the second because I don't really enjoy American Horror Story all that much. It tries too hard for the most part, but these guys tried hard, and it showed, and it was quality from from A to Z. Scarecrow the Reaper was another original, and it gets by on creating a claustrophobic environment so that you know that things are going to pop out at you, but when they do, they're like literally right next to your ass.
That's cool. Was that
really effective?
Was that like a corn maze or?
Yes, it was a corn maze.
That's fucking awesome.
It was a corn maze, and they had like vines drooped all over everywhere. It was nauseating, but so good. Dead Waters was ghosts in the antebellum era, so it was good for story and it was good for set pieces, but the scares themselves were like pretty easily predictable, so it wasn't like as scary, but the trappings were awesome.
Cool.
Blumhouse, because I like 2 of the 3 movies. Ash vs. the Evil Dead, I wanted to like so much more than I did. But the reason is they couldn't quite get it together. They tried to make it as funny as it was scary. So you could, I admire them for trying to reach that far, but where they had to rein things in had to do with stuff like wigs and costumes and stuff, so everybody looked pretty awful.
Gotcha.
Yeah, unfortunately.
They usually have higher standards than that.
Yeah, for most of the haunted houses, yeah. But it had a hell of a soundtrack, because, the show.
Mm-hmm.
The Shining was exactly like Ash vs. the Evil Dead, in that it was, it was the Stanley Kubrick movie, which I infamously don't really care for, and I'm sorry about that, except not because it sucks. But they tried to get really clever with it too, and they kind of stretched themselves a little bit too thin with that as well. Hive was kind of like a generic vampires as zombie cannibals sort of thing, and you've seen that all over the place recently. And Saw is Saw, so I just was indifferent and didn't go see it. But there you go. The power ranking of the 2017 Halloween Horror Nights Haunted Houses, right there for you to look at and shake your head in at with disgust.
Excellent.
At what I picked. Mm-hmm.
So you did the rest of the parks as well too, right? Because I've never done Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
The rest of the park is open, right?
Only a select few rides are open.
Oh, okay.
The Mummy was open. Thank goodness for that.
Makes sense.
Because that ride would need to be open for Halloween Horror Nights. Surprisingly, Men in Black was as well, and a couple of other ones you wouldn't readily associate with the theme. Rock and Roller Coaster was open all night.
I could see that.
Yeah, it looks pretty good when the lights are off and
How about
stuff.
E.T.? Was that open?
E.T. Doesn't exist anymore. I don't think so. Does it?
It's still there.
Really?
Yeah. Everything else in the kid zone is gone.
No, Fievel's Playland's still there, and the SpongeBob thing is still there.
They're on their way out. If they're not, haven't been ripped out of the ground yet, they're going away.
Oh, that's a bummer. I've had enough with dead rides this weekend.
Still mourning over
I
Dueling
know.
Dragons.
The following day, I did a 2-park hopper, and I know you told me that the Dueling Dragons were out, like torn the fuck down, out and done, and I didn't believe you. So as soon as I saw the signs down, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, cool. They just kept the tracks, and they're going to make something else with it. Because I saw the loop through the arch that you used to walk into the ride through, and then I went on to the Hogwarts Express to go to the other side and see what was left, or see what was there, just to corroborate that there was something left there, and it was like everything else was taken down except for that one fucking loop, and I don't really know why they kept it there.
Maybe they're saving it for... Because there was one theme park that had a really famous corkscrew roller coaster.
Python, yeah.
I don't think it could have been the Python.
It was Busch Gardens?
No, it wasn't Busch Gardens.
Oh, never mind.
But it was this really long corkscrew. And they tore down the rest of the ride. They kept that corkscrew and they put it in the front of the park itself, saying, this is some of our history.
Well, that'd be kind of cool. But they took down like the most iconic part of it, which was the ride up the wall of the castle. When the two carts are like jockeying, and you see the wall of the castle in front of you, and your feet like just graze it.
Oh, I thought the most famous part is where they used to actually near miss each other.
That was
until they didn't.
That was such an iconic roller coaster. Like, why the hell would it be that one? Like, out of all the stuff to take down off of Islands of Adventure, there were less notable rides.
Well, I think it was a maintenance thing because I think it was a bitch to maintain.
It was down all the time. Yeah,
so it's when you get to the point where it's costing you more money to keep the thing going than it does to actually tear it down and build something new.
Yeah,
it's
which shows how much Poseidon's Fury costs to run.
Yeah,
they still have that going.
There are people. Yeah, there are like 2 fans of Poseidon's Fury, and that's Poseidon's Fury Alpha, and you're looking at them right here. Everybody else either doesn't know what the fuck it is, or doesn't know what it is after they leave, or what it was when they leave. Yeah, so it's just like, all right, but apparently it runs itself, so leave it. It's like the one roommate.
It's still running right now.
Yeah, it's like that one roommate that nobody sees, nobody talks to, but keeps his place impeccably clean.
Always pays his bills.
Anyone. Yeah, always pays the bills, and you're like, well, he's weird, but
he doesn't wear socks ever, but he's all right. It's
yep, he's a hell of a roommate. We'll just let him stick around.
All right, Bob. So I'm playing WWE 2K18. Corey went to Halloween Horror Nights and is getting ready to get his shit up to Chicago. What are you doing?
What am I?
Damn it! I have gas. So.
I'm shocked the mic didn't pick that up. I really am. Did you see my shirt flutter in the shockwave?
I'm shocked it didn't pick it up the last 6 times I did it. Well, I guess you'll be able to tell after this is all over.
No, I could tell. What am I doing? I'm going to NXT again.
Hey, nice.
Yeah, I got tickets, and somebody suggested, oh man, are there tickets still available? So I went and checked it. Nope, it's sold out.
Oh, damn it!
So it's going to be the end of November.
So you're going to the post takeover show then?
Yes.
Oh god damn!
They're probably
dude.
They're gonna tape like 1 or 2 at Takeover, as they normally do.
So what they usually do is they do like an hour before the Takeover, and that's the Wednesday show the following week, and then they do the Takeover on Saturday, and then that gives them a chance to get their shit together and get back to Orlando for the taping at Full Sail. So.
Yeah, because that first episode after a pay-per-view, it's just a lot of recap with maybe 1, 2 matches maybe.
Yeah, usually 2 matches and that's it.
Yeah, because it probably have No Way Jose in it.
No Way Jose. You'll have probably one of the girls on there, Ruby Riott, and something like that. But
Ruby Riott makes for a good show, though.
Yeah, the last NXT show I went to, there was all kinds of stuff. That's where they had the announcement for War Games, and I didn't want to spoil anything, but my God, War Games. Do you know what War Games was?
Yes, it was a stellar 1980s film about kind of a parable about the Cold War, starring Dabney Coleman and Matthew Broderick and a monkey. No, that was Project X. No, Ali Sheedy. Yes.
War Games is the 2 or 3 tag teams going at the same time in 2 rings. So
In a cage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old Dusty Rhodes thing.
Concept.
Oh, nifty. And Dabney Coleman's involved?
Yes.
God damn it. The last NXT show I went to, I got to see Kairi Sane for the first time.
She's awesome.
She is awesome, but she could probably fit in this cup.
Fair enough.
She is tiny. She's a little person. And
I still don't know who this one is.
she's a girl from Japan who has probably the best elbow drop I've ever seen.
Yep. Her gimmick is the Pirate Princess.
That's a good gimmick.
Yes.
Yeah.
She has a little steering wheel or a ship's wheel that she carries out, and she spins, and it's adorable. And she's like 4'2" and 8 pounds. It's
All right, you got my shekels NXT, and I've never even seen this person.
Yep.
It's just there are some concepts that are unbeatable. Yeah. All right.
So that's going on for Bob. Not much else going on other than life,
Too much of it.
the universe, and everything. But as you guys know, we do feed off your dialogue, so we ask that you subscribe, like, and engage us on the comments on anything we talked about today, either here, Facebook, or on Twitter at Cretans Guild. So to all of our followers, old and new, I am Jay, this is Bob and Corey. We are the Cretans Guild, and we say welcome to the Guild.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Exactly.